Hey everyone, welcome back to Ask the Spirit Guides with Karen. How's it going today? So, a couple days ago, I did a tap into, no, it wasn't a Kamala Harris. I did do one on Kamala Harris to tap into her energy. That was an angel card reading. I'll link that below in the description. But I also did a duty to warn about the Stephen Spoonamore. I did a video with the SGs here, and I said in that video, if you have any other additional questions, to go ahead and put them in the comments, and that I would answer them. So I'm doing that right now. Okay, so this is probably going to be the last. Unless I get a ton more questions, I probably, you could leave questions. I'm not 100% sure. I'll do another full video on it. But again, this is about the duty to warn letter and research that Stephen Spoonamore did. And I was just asking the SGs if it was accurate, how much, if it was valid. And it sounded like it was at that time. Just a reminder that the energy is about what the current energy says. I have to admit, I don't know if anybody else caught this, but there was a video that Tim Walz and Kamala Harris just did in the community, the Kamala Harris YouTube. And they just did a live yesterday, I think it was. So like either the 25th of November or the 26th of November. And, I watched, I wonder how you guys felt. If you watched it, how did you feel afterwards? Because it was like, there was nothing there that anything's going to happen. So it was a little, I had to deal with some feelings, the whole roller coaster of feelings right now, of hoping that something's going to happen. And the SGs, and I know other intuitives keep talking about it, that things are happening, but it didn't. When you watch that video, there was nothing, there was just nothing. So I would expect they're doing stuff behind the scenes, making sure it's done well, because that's the only way President Harris knows how to do things. Calling her President Harris now. Okay, so follow-up questions. So first I'll say my little prayer, and then I'll just show, in case somebody is new to this channel, I'll show how it works. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides and guardians, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect this channel so it's only of the light. Amen. Hey guys. So in theory, I am speaking to my spirit guides. At least I've been doing this for about 8 years, so I'm pretty comfortable understanding that that's what's happening. When they say, so they're basically saying hello. When they go to the right, which is your left, like that, the answer is yes, for the way that my spirit guides work with me. Sometimes you'll see it differently on other people's channels. And when they go to the left like that, yeah, see, I didn't even ask them to, and they started showing you a no. That's hilarious. That is very funny, you guys. Okay, so that's no. Okay, so your left. No, my left, your right is no. Okay. I will say what it is in between each question, so you don't need to worry if you're not remembering which one is which. Okay. So besides the fact that I said Snoops so many times and people commented, which is totally fine. Apparently it's Snopes. So Snopes. And if that is how Google is telling me to pronounce it. So Snopes. So my original video, I was asking about questions that Snopes, the article in Snopes.com was talking about, this duty to warn letter. So I'm not going to talk about Snopes anymore. These are just your questions. Okay. So the first question is, say, taking Snopes out of the equation, did Duncan Bell, who I don't know who that is, and Stephen Spoonamore send a duty to warn letter to Kamala Harris? Okay, the answer is yes, but I want to just make sure that I'm jiving with them here. Okay, you guys, can you answer that, please? Did Duncan Bell and Stephen Spoonamore send a duty to warn letter to Kamala Harris? Okay, so the answer is yes. And see, when they cross over, it's a pretty strong yes. So both of them did? Did they do it together? Okay. They're moving kind of, I don't know, the energy is a little slow, but they're moving it. Okay, number 2. If Harris is inaugurated in January as President Harris, will there be widespread violence? Oh, the answer is no. Well, hopefully, is that because she's going to do it in a way? Well, let's just ask. And again, entertainment purposes only. I said in the last video, we all have to be mature about this. I am hoping just as much as you are that this is gonna come true, but there's a very good chance it won't. I mean, there is a chance it won't, right? So regardless of what the SGs say, you just have to take that with a grain of salt, okay? So will Kamala Harris be inaugurated in January of 2025? Okay, the answer is yes. Is that, at least in the current energy right now, is that 100% certain? Whoa. Wow, that's a real crossover. Okay, the answer is yes. So if she is, when she's inaugurated on January 20th, I think it is, so they know what day it is, 2025, will there be widespread violence? Okay. The answer is no. Will there be any violence? The answer is yes. So the question was widespread violence, but so there'll be some. Okay. Will it be mostly focused in Washington, D.C.? No. Okay. 3. Every time I got a yes on Harris, I would get strong chills through my body. Were the strong chills right through my body with every yes on the Harris questions confirmation from my spirit? So the question is, so somebody, if you ever get chills like that, like I'll be talking to somebody and we'll be talking about something kind of cool or whatever, and I'll get chills, just as what this person is asking too. And that I always feel like, oh, that's a confirmation, like, that spirit saying yes, like you're feeling it to your core type of thing. That makes your body kind of have a reaction to it. So you guys, the person who's asking this question, can you please tap into the person who asked number 3, the question here, when they got chills through their body every time we got a yes with the last video? Were those strong chills that went through his or her body, were those also confirmation saying yes to the same questions? Were those his or her spirit guides? Okay, so the answer is yes. Cool. And then, or just my body telling me how strongly I feel it. Or was it just his or her body telling him or her how strongly, because of how strongly he or she felt about the situation? Was it because of that? Let me answer that again. Oh, is it both? Oh, okay. Okay, there you go. Whoa, all right, I got it. They're like, yes. Okay, so it's both. It's your spirit guides, and because you feel strongly about the situation, because I think that's what happens to me when I do get those little tingles. I'll be having kind of a passionate conversation about, or like I'll say something that I just feel deeply about, is when I get those tingles. So you feel strongly about it, and your spirit guides, you are able to feel it because you feel strongly about it. Is that correct? Okay. All right. There we go. So the key, you guys, with this kind of stuff is really just knowing, especially when they're only yes and no questions, to know what kind of follow-up questions to ask. That can be the challenge for me, for sure. Okay. Number 4, were voting machines connected to the internet? Okay, the answer is yes, and I don't know, that would be something I don't have an opinion about. So, is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing that the machines were connected to the internet? They're saying yes and no. Was it a bad thing because it allowed for cheating? The answer is yes. Okay. Number 5, does energy die? Does energy doesn't die? If no, the huge energetic bubble. Hang on a sec. So does energy die is the question. It does say, so I think we copied and pasted this, so it wasn't quite, it says does energy doesn't die. So does energy die? The answer is no. If no, the huge energetic bubble created by her campaign has to go somewhere, correct? That's a great question. So did the Harris campaign create a huge energetic bubble? And it has to go somewhere, correct? So the answer is yes to the first one, and the answer is yes to the second. Okay. Is that energy going to wait around until, I mean, how do I say this? Is that energy going to make a difference in her getting inaugurated in January of 2025? Yes. Okay. Or will we have to wait till 2028 for that energy to take place for us? The answer is no. Again, keep your hopes and your dreams in check, people. Okay? I have to. I know. They were in timeout for a while after the election because they answered, I mean, everything they said was totally opposite than what appears to have happened, if you know what I mean. So, okay. So I put them in timeout and I'm just bringing them out now for some of these kind of questions. All right. Is 45 aware of the duty to warn letter? Is 45 aware? Oh, big yes. Is 45 clueless that people are looking into this? No, big swing. Usually they don't swing big on no's, but that's a big one. Okay, was Snopes coerced into reporting that there was no bias for Spoonamore's claims? Oh. Entertainment purposes only? The answer is yes. Number 8, did an ambulance actually arrive at Mar-a-Lago over the last week and a half? Oh, the answer is yes. Did Secret Service people depart in the ambulance? Yeah, what was going on with the ambulance, you guys? So the answer is yes, but was 45 in the ambulance? Oh, the answer is yes. So I haven't read anything. I haven't been watching anything. It's been glorious. Oh, so I'm not sure. I heard about the ambulance, but I haven't heard any follow-up to that. Was the ambulance part of the Vance convoy? Can you see that? The answer is no. Was Vance in Washington, D.C. at the time the ambulance arrived? Yes. So is there something going on with Vance and the Mar-a-Lago thing? Yes. Was Leon, who is E. Musk, as I'm assuming that's who that is, in the Philly area to do his lottery or part of a cover-up, setting things up for votes to flip? Okay. The answer is yes. Again, I don't always know what all this means. So was E.M. Leon in the Philly area to do his lottery or part of a cover-up setting things up for votes to flip in the Philly area? The answer is yes. Just making sure I am reading that correctly. Number 13, will a hand count of the votes show fraud from the 2024 election? The answer is yes. Will there be riots if Trump is not sworn in? The answer is yes. Will they be widespread? The answer is no. Okay, I'm hoping it's so obvious that everybody can understand it, but there's going to be probably some people who just deny, right? Yeah, okay. Wide swing. Okay. Is this a situation where the spirit guides are on the other parallel timeline? Oh, yes. Are we joining you in that timeline? Oh, that'd be cool. So yes. Are all human beings joining you on that timeline? Okay, I could tell they were shifting, so no. Wide swing, no. Okay, so if you guys have questions about this timeline stuff, because you might know a lot more information about it or what you've been hearing from other folks on YouTube or reading or whatever you're reading, let's do some questions on timeline. Let's do another video on timeline stuff. I think it would be interesting. But they'll have to come from you because I don't know a lot about it, so. Okay. 16. I think there's only 2 more questions. So number 16. Kamala said she may run 2028. Has she given up on 2024? The answer is no. If no, is saying she may run in 2028 a ruse? A ruse? Is it ruse or ruse? Yeah. So the answer is yes. So basically she's just saying that right now because they haven't come forward with their detailed information. Is that correct? The answer is yes. 17, will evidence be found that the letter is correct? That Stephen Spoonamore and Duncan Bell sent the duty to war letter? The answer is yes. Cool. I hope so. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's very interesting, and I was going to do a separate video on this. I'll talk about it here real quick for those who want to just hang out for a second. I probably do a separate one just because maybe a coffee with Karen in the morning. But I was listening to another, I don't remember her name. I don't have my phone close to me either, so I can't look it up. Well, yes, I can. Hang on one second. Okay, so I was listening to someone on YouTube, and her channel is Intuit, INTUIT, and then view. So INTUITIVIEW. Okay, and the one I was listening to is called Spoiler Alert, We Will All Come Together. Okay, so. And I can ask CSGs this too, but I really valued what she said there. And this is messages she's getting from her guides. So it's really interesting how we're getting different information and it's kind of up to us to kind of piece this stuff together. So she basically was talking about, and I actually agree with this because I did a video shortly after, maybe a week after the election. And I said, I think it was, maybe this is why it had to happen this way or something like that. And I still intuitively feel this is why it had to happen this way. So this is why it helps me, and I'm not accepting it. Don't take it as I'm accepting, because I'm not at all. But I mean, I don't like the outcome at all. But I'm wondering, and this is what she was talking about, okay, is that it would have been a lot worse if 45 won first, let's just say, okay? And what her spirit guides are saying is that even if he is inaugurated, and he carries through the stuff that he's going to do, which people on the left knew, we saw the truth because we were watching different things, okay? We could see through it because we weren't watching the stuff that was trying to brainwash people and lie to them and all that kind of stuff, okay? And they legit thought they were watching legit news. So that's a problem, right, in our society. So she is saying that her spirit guides are communicating that it would be better for between now and, hopefully it could happen before Inauguration Day, that the truth comes out to them on the other side, that they can clearly see it with their own eyes, how they've been lied to, okay? Not just stolen election, but that they were lied to. Because if they can get to that point, which in my mind, Harris is so smart. I mean, her campaign was incredible. She's so smart and savvy that if I had to guess based on what she did with her campaign, that's what they're trying to do, is to make sure the evidence is so clear that there's no denying it. Now, what this person was saying in that video is that even if he was inaugurated, that if it ends up being that way, that it would be, we have to trust the bigger picture here, you guys. This is where we have to trust what's going on. They know more things than we do, and they're setting it up in a way that will support us in the long term. I feel very clear about that. Okay, in fact, yep. Oh my God, I got shivers all over my body. Okay, so I feel strongly about it, plus they're confirming it. Okay, that's the same thing with that question we asked. So basically, if 45 were inaugurated, okay, we would end up, because it will start to be much more clear to the people who've supported him that he lied. Okay, because it's very clear to us he lied, but it's not clear to them. So they need to see it first. And I remember, I don't know if she said this in here or if I read this, or maybe in one of the comments of her video, that in World War II, that the Russians, I can't remember, I read this today somewhere, the Russians literally had to take the German people to the concentration camps because they wouldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that that was actually happening until they saw it with their own eyes. She might have talked about that, okay? Until they saw it with their own eyes. It's just the way our brains are wired, And they could not fathom that that was possibly happening. And so the Russians actually took people to the concentration camps. Apparently, that's a part of World War II I did not know about. I've watched and studied a lot about World War II over the years. So I kind of get that, as much as I don't want to see it happen, that for the sake of all of us, it would be better for all those people, even though he didn't get enough, I don't believe he got enough votes to actually have won. But according to my spirit guides and just all the stuff we've been hearing, in order for all of us as a culture and a society to come together in the United States and the world at this point, for it to be calm and for people to move on, not in a, just in a peaceful way, that they are going to need to see the proof, and the proof is going to have to be 45 proving to them that they lied. Do you see what I mean? So as much as I want to see it happen, as much as I want to see Harris be inaugurated on January 20th, if she's not, I'm going to understand the bigger picture that way. So I would encourage you to go listen to her YouTube channel or that video and see if it helps you. And I'd just be curious to know your take on it. So, because it's really, there's a lot going on than just Harris losing the election. Like, I do believe things happen for a reason. So if I believe that, I always believe it in hindsight. It's easy to believe things in hindsight, but I do believe things happen for a reason. So if you do, then there's a reason for this, and we have to have faith that it will work itself out for our best interest, for all of our best interest, not just those who want Harris in. We want it to work out for all of us. Don't you? I do. I want it to work out for all of the United States and the world so that we can have peace on earth, But if all of a sudden it looks like now she's just stealing it back, how is that gonna, So I think, she's smart enough. She's smart enough to know this. So even if they don't come out before January 20th, we have to trust, okay, that, and maybe it wouldn't last 4 years, and she does talk about in that video from her spirit guides that all of us then, even if they tried to take away like the healthcare and the Social Security and all that kind of stuff, that we as a people would rise up and make sure that didn't happen. And we have to, if we can do it together, that would make a huge difference than this side and that side. And maybe this is all about a part of bringing us together so that we can all go to the next timeline together. Because I don't want, I have no interest in leaving a whole bunch of spirits having human experiences on this timeline when if in fact they've been brainwashed. I mean, that's not nice. We want to bring them along. Like, I don't want people, if I ever got brainwashed like that, because they could turn around and say, we're the ones being brainwashed, and if we were, I wouldn't want them leaving me behind. You know what I mean? I know it's kind of out there, but anyways. Okay, well, I hope this was helpful. So I'd love to do questions on timelines, though. So you guys, if you have anything, let me know. And I did say a couple days ago, I did that angel card reading, a 3-card draw for Kamala. And I did say I would do one for 45, and I will do that. This will probably I'll probably post it on Thanksgiving night, which will be Thanksgiving tomorrow in the United States. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.